Slowpoke tails, shed versus chopped. Okay, so there's something of a discrepancy between how Slowpoke tails are treated by the Pokemon franchise. Initially, it was understood that these are a tasty, unethical luxury item, starting in gold, silver, crystal, and mirrored in heart gold and soul silver. The whole plot here is that Team Rocket has taken the Slowpoke in the Azalea Slowpoke well and chopped their tails off to sell on the black market. These run for a whopping 1 million PD a pop, which is 10k in USD. But then, in later generations, it's said that Slowpoke tails fall off naturally. In fact, they're a crucial part of both Alolan and Galarian cuisine. The curry ingredient even sells for a measly 2,200 PD, which is 22 US dollars. So what gives? Why is it a million Poke black market item when you can get a package off your local hiker? Easy, sweetness. Slowpoke use their tails to fish for food. Typically, they do this by dipping their tails into the water, then letting the current catch the sweet sap they give off and bring it to hungry water types. When a Slowpoke sheds its tail, it's because the tail's ability to generate sap has dried up. It's no longer useful as fishing bait, so the Slowpoke has to either get rid of the tail or starve. Shed Slowpoke tails, the ones commonly available for cooking, aren't sweet in the slightest. They're more likely heavily marbled tuna steaks somewhere between beef and fish, with a lot of fat dripping from them and a rich umami flavor. Chopped Slowpoke tails, the kind you find on the black market, are a completely different experience. The meat is more tender, the flavor a lot more delicate, with the sweetness permeating it that's a lot like the honey glaze on a ham. Naturally, chopped Slowpoke tail then becomes a novel experience because you have to take it from a Slowpoke and you can't just find it lying around. So why then is it illegal enough for Rocket to move in on? Why is Slowpoke farming or hunting for those sweet tails not a thing? They still grow them back afterwards, so what's the deal? The problem with chopping a Slowpoke's tail off is that even though it regenerates, its body wasn't ready to do so. This can cause a whole lot of complications for the poor thing. A tail doesn't regenerate from nothing. For starters, every time you cut a tail off unexpectedly, the Slowpoke's body rushes to make a replacement, using up its body's fat reserves. This causes very rapid and dangerous weight loss, and frankly a ridiculous amount of stress. Incorrect cuts can cause deformities like a tail growing back too short, not being able to make enough sweetness to bait fish Pokemon, or even Espeon tail syndrome, where the tail splits into two at the end. And perhaps most egregiously of all, a cut too high might mean the Slowpoke never regrows its tail at all. If you cut into anything that's not specifically tail tissue, the body will begin the scarring process over the wound, removing the Pokemon's ability to fish and evolve. And while it can learn to survive by fishing manually, like its evolutionary counterpart is required to, oftentimes Slowpoke will just sit by the water and starve, not realizing that they aren't getting a bite because there's just nothing to bite. In short, shed equals ethical, chopped equals unethical, possibly lethal. Slowpoke responsibility, guys.